Welcome to this webinar on connecting Revizto to Power BI. My name is Ahmed Abdelmegid, and I'm the Customer Success Manager for Revizto for the Middle East and Africa region. In this webinar, I will walk you through the process of creating dashboards and charts for the Revizto issues using the Power BI connector provided by Revizto. To start using our Power BI connector, you can head to our help center at help.revizto.com and you can type Power BI. If you go to this article, it will walk you through all the setup that you need to do. So within Power BI, you might need to change some settings to allow for custom connectors to work. In the future, this process might be simplified. For the time being, if you can make sure you change the settings mentioned over here, and then you will need to download the connector files and place them in a specific folder that Power BI reads. So if you scroll down all the way to the bottom of the article, you can see which region your server is located on and the corresponding .maz file. And for example, if I would like to work with the North America server, I will look for the Virginia MEZ, download this file, make sure to unzip it so that you would take the Virginia MEZ file and then place it in the folder mentioned in the article. After setting up the connector, you can open Power BI and then you can click on this button to get data from other sources. If the connector was installed successfully, you can type Revizto over here and you should be able to see the connector for the specific server region that you have downloaded the MEZ file for. So I will select the connector and click on the connect button and then click continue. Then if it's the first time you are using the connector, it will ask you to log in using your Revizto credentials. And then it will give you these folders that will list the licenses that are available for you on this server. And for each license, you will have another subfolder for each project that you have access to. So if I take the Red Academy training recordings folder, so this is a project on Revizto, and these are 4 different tables I can work with. This table pulls the data from the issue tracker. So each row is an issue. This table shows me the changes that have happened on the issues. So each row is a time-stamped activity showing me a change that has been made on an issue. For example, if the status has changed from open to in progress, that would be logged in this table. Then you have another table for general information about the project and the team involved on this project. So for now, I will choose the issues table, but bear in mind you can load multiple tables into your project. So I'll go ahead and load the information. So now the connector will start pulling the issues data from the issue tracker for this project, and it will provide me the information over here. So I can see the table and I can see the columns that I have access to, and I can start using these columns or fields in building my charts and arranging them into different pages on my dashboard. But before we start building the charts, let's take a look at the data and see if we need to make any adjustments to it. So if you click on transform data over here, that would open a new window and it will show you a preview of the data that you currently have in this table. For each column, it gives you a preview of the data, and it also shows you the type of field, whether it was a text or a number or a date. So for example, I can see that the date created column is recognized as a text field. So that's very easy to fix. I can click over here and I can change the type of this column to be date and time, for example. And Then you can do that for the other columns as well to adjust the types as needed. And once you're done with the changes, you can click on Close and Apply. So now we have changed the type for the date created field, which will make it easier for us to work with this data in our charts. So the next thing we're going to do is to start creating some visuals or charts and placing them in the dashboard. The first visual we're going to use is the table, which will be simply a summary of the issues. So for example, if I would like to see the number of issues grouped by the assignee, I have the assignee field over here that gives me their email address, but I have the assignee full name over here. So I'm going to click on assignee full name. Those will be, that will be my first column. And my second column, I want to count the records. So I can count this column, which will be the count of issue ID. So now I have a summary table giving me the assignee name and the count of issues that are assigned to them. Next, let's try to create a pie chart. So for example, if I would like to see the breakdown of the issues based on the project level, so I'm going to use a pie chart over here. And then for the legend, I want to see the issues broken down by level. So I have this field over here. I can drag it into the legend. And then for the values, again, I would like to see the count of issues. So I can use count of issue ID and put it in the values. So now I have a pie chart and it's showing me the different levels on the project and the breakdown by the count of issues. Next, let's try another chart. So if you would like to create a stacked bar chart, for example, that shows me the stamp abbreviation and the count of issues for each stamp abbreviation, we can use this type of chart, place it where it needs to go in the dashboard, and then start choosing the fields. So for the y-axis, we would like the stamp abbreviation. So I can look for it in the fields over here or simply search for it. So I have the stamp abbreviation over here, and I can drag and drop to the y-axis. And then for the x-axis, I would like to see the count of issues. So again, I'm going to drag the issue ID. It recognizes it as a number column, so it's going to default to counting the issues for me. And what I'm going to do is also introduce another layer. So for example, I can see right now the breakdown of the issues by the stamp abbreviation. But if I would like to do a further grouping by the status, for example, I can add that to the legend. So if I look at the status column over here, I can drag and drop onto the legend. And now I have a stacked bar chart. On the y-axis, I have the different stamp abbreviations. And on each bar, it's colorized by the status for those different issues. You might also find another chart very useful, which is the line chart. And that is also particularly useful when you're trying to see or plot data against time. So for example, if I would like to see the number of issues that were created throughout a certain period, what I will do is I will create a line chart over here. I can resize it as required. For the x-axis, I will choose the date created field. And since we've changed the data type to be date time, it gives me a breakdown. So I can see this information by year, quarter, month, or day. So for example, what I would like to do is use the year, month, and day in my x-axis. And then on the y-axis, I would like to see the count of issue ID. So that will give me this line chart showing me the number of issues created. I can also change the formatting of this chart. So when you click on the chart and you go to this button, it will give you more options to customize the visual. So for example, for the x-axis, instead of having it continuous this way, I can change it to categorical. So that way I have the year and then the month and then the day. So it makes it a little bit easier to read. Now, one of the advantages of building your dashboards is that there is cross-filtering available across all the visuals. So for example, if I go to May 15th, I know 3 issues were created. If I click on this dot, it will show me the 3 issues and the assignees for them. And I will see that the 2 of them had the stamp of DAR, one is in progress and one is open, and then another open issue with the stamp of ELE. And I can see the breakdown in the levels as well. So wherever you click on any chart, the rest of the charts cross-filter automatically by default. Alternatively, if I reset my filters, and let's say if I would like to see only the issues that were created with the DAR stamp, again, the timeline will filter only those stamps. The table and the pie chart will only show me the breakdown for this DAR stamp as well. If I would like to filter the information by assignee, I can click, for example, on Olivia and notice that again, all the charts will filter. And now I can see only the issues that have been assigned to Olivia in this case. And if you click again, that will clear this filter. One of the very powerful features of Power BI is the ability to use the Q&A tool, where you can type a question and let Power BI generate the visual for you on the fly. So for example, I'll create a new page over here. Then I will go to the Insert tab in the ribbon and insert Q&A. I will then resize this visual, and then I can start typing the question over here. So for example, I can ask what are the total issues. So I'll give it a second to load. So it's telling me that in the data that we have imported into the model so far, we have 37 issues. And then I can adjust my question. So for example, I can say total issues by status. So based on this question, it plotted this graph for me, showing me the breakdown for the total issues by the status. And I can even modify this even further. So I can say by status and priority. So now it has updated the chart, showing me both the status and priority. And perhaps I would like the chart to be different. I would like it to be a stacked bar instead. So I can say in stacked bar chart. And again, it will revise the visual. And now I have a stacked bar chart with the status on the y-axis and the colors of the bar reflecting the priority. I can also say I would like to see the issues created by month and day. So now it will generate a timeline for me, show me the month and day and the issues, similar to the one that we had created earlier. Alternatively, I can say I'd like to see the issues by assignee full name. And that will generate another visual showing the breakdown by assignee. So I think that's also one of the very powerful features, where you can just type your question and Power BI will generate the chart for you. You can also design the layout of your dashboard on a mobile screen. So if you select any page and you switch to the mobile layout view, it will show you the charts that you have created so far. You can drag and drop those charts in the layout that you prefer, or you can say auto create mobile layout, and it will put the charts for you over here. You can resize those charts, and the same behavior of cross filtering will also apply over here. So if I choose a specific stamp on this chart, everything else will filter down. So after you are done with creating your dashboards, the next thing you're going to do is to publish this dashboard to the Power BI service. So that will give access to other users to this dashboard, depending on the type of Power BI license that you have. Now, after you've built all your dashboards, if you would like to refresh the data in your dashboard, there are two ways for doing that. So you can do that manually by opening your Power BI dashboard, clicking on the table that you would like to refresh the data for, and click on refresh data. And after that is done, you would publish your dashboard again. The other option that you have is by setting up the automatic scheduled refresh. So in the same article on our help center, if you scroll down and if you click on configuring scheduled refresh, it will walk you through the process of setting up an on-premises data gateway. And after that is set up, how you can then manage the connections and set up the scheduled refresh at the frequency that you prefer. I hope you found this content helpful, and thank you very much for watching.